Hello, welcome back to another edition of Hobby News Daily. I'm still Danny Black, but today I am joined by somebody you may recognize, Rob Various from Burbank Sportscards. What's going on, Rob?
Oh man, just a glorious day over here in Burbank. Got piles of hockey cards on my desk, like everywhere. Um, yeah, no, just living the dream, doing what I love to do.
Everything I've read says you always have cards everywhere.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So,
yeah.
where did you grow up? How did you get into cards before you got into it with the coin business at the beginning?
Yeah.
Go farther back from that.
We can go back to Brockton, Massachusetts, early
There
to
we go.
mid-80s, growing up 7, 8, 9 years old. My local card shop was the Ice Cream Man. That was really where I had that access to cards during the summer. Of course, at the grocery mart, there wasn't like a place I could ride my bike that was close enough, and there certainly weren't card shops. So the Ice Cream Man played a big role in my early days. First set I ever completed was 76 Tops baseball, uh,
Okay.
and caught the bug early. Moved out here. Parents had a big yard sale. Anything that wasn't deemed essential basically went to the yard sale. So lost all my cards and
Oh,
came out here. And at the age of 11, started frequenting a coin and stamp shop because that was the hobby that was my year-round pursuit, was coins and stamps. And eventually in 1979, he asked if I wanted to deliver flyers for him at a penny a car, 2 cents a house. So that's basically when I started, and that's basically my origin story that's led up 45 years later to where we're at.
thank you for letting me check that off the mandatory question list. Uh, I'm embarrassed every time I do it. What I'm really curious about is I want to fast forward a little bit to the adoption of technology, and I keep the interviews to the important stuff, and I think that's been part of the brilliance of how you've grown. Can you talk about the early days of organizing the internet and how you saw that as an opportunity?
Yeah, basically, we've always been ultra organized. My business was built around my mother when she was around because people wanted to find out if you had a card. They weren't typing, they were calling. And you needed to be as efficient as possible in not only just finding the card, but being priced. And so I had a phone call with Mark Harwell, who was the VP at Beckett, rest in peace. He was one of my guiding lights in the early days. And he asked if I would be interested in utilizing Beckett's database to push our inventory to Beckett.com, which at the time was absolutely the place I wanted my inventory. So we were so organized already, we were able to plug our cards into that database very quickly. I've actually got a screen up right now that is the Beckett database. So we adopted really early. This was back around 1999. Was our first actual for sale website. We had informational ones before that, but yeah, that Beckett database was huge. And then it became a link to eBay, where we were able to load it into the Beckett marketplace, push it to eBay, and increment and decrement accordingly. And then the next step with the technology came in 2013 when I discovered the Fujitsu 6130Z scanners, which really changed the industry. I was basically the first person that I know of that was using those things. It was like 1981 top set. I wanted to scan the whole thing. It took 14 minutes, 726 cards, front, back, and auto crop. I'm like, I can digitize this place. And it's going to take time. And I bought 10 machines. They were $1,000 a piece. And I hired a small army, but we started at point A and went to point Z. So basically, the Beckett database, as well as those Fujitsu 6130Zs, were kind of the two real aha moments as far as technology goes here.
I think you'd be doing yourself a disservice if you didn't put a picture of the Fujitsu up on the wall for Employee of the Month at one point. Uh,
Yeah, it changed everything. Because it was like
it
flip
was
it,
unbelievable. Yeah.
then crop it, and I'm like, now it's just sucking cards through 40 at a time, and no damage. It doesn't even touch the card. And once we discovered that, and then we told the industry about it too. We didn't just keep it to ourselves. We let everybody know it existed, and I think that really helped change a lot of people's businesses in the industry. So, kind of happy we could do that.
We call this the LCS spotlight, and I certainly want to focus on the store. You're famously known for, are we over 40 million cards?
Yeah, we have about 41 million cards on eBay, which is about 2.35 to 2.4 million unique listings on eBay. And, that keeps us busy.
It does. So how many sales channels do you have? You have in-store,
Right.
eBay and Beckett, which are kind of one works from the other.
And then we have burbankcards.com as well. Most of
Burbankcards.com.
the stuff we push through Beckett is less expensive stuff, like sub $10, $15 cards. Anything that's more than that kind of runs through our shop. And we don't have to pay fees to a company. And it's just easier for us to manage. And we got systems throughout the shop that kind of match up with everything that we do there. But yeah, we have 4 sales channels, but eBay and the shop are definitely the 2 biggest.
You've grown a lot over the years since you first started. One of the things that I found fascinating was when you opened your second location in October of '95. The day you opened was a day in actual world history, so to speak.
Yeah.
What happened the day you opened your second location?
Yeah, I believe it was October 3rd, 1995. And right when we opened the doors, at that very moment, the OJ trial was coming to a close, and they announced the verdict right when we were opening the doors. And a funny subnote to the OJ story was they did a piece here on OJ Mania, and they did it at our shop. And at the time, OJ cards were as hot as anything you've ever seen. And of course, internet. So everybody's calling in. And so they came in and we were showing them, we had like a double screw down back in the day. And Al Cowlings and OJ Simpson in the same, double screw. And they were going for like $300 for like a rookie of Al Cowlings, which is worth nothing. And OJ's cards were crazy. And so it got picked up by Extra, but it got picked up by the Today Show. And Katie Couric is like, and there's some unscrupulous people trying to profit off of this. We go to Burbank, and I'm like, you've got to be kidding me.
Oh my goodness.
Really funny. But yeah, and it got picked up like everywhere. So yeah, that was wild that we opened up on that date.
Katie Couric does not get free shipping.
No, not at all.
How big of a staff do you have?
23, 24, kind of, fluctuates, 22 to 25 people, maybe 15 people over at the warehouse. They're doing database work, scanning, shipping, all of that. And there's maybe 8 to 10 people that rotate over here as well, as far as retail staff, buyers, things of that nature.
As we've talked to other owners, a couple of things have stood out that have been interesting. One of them is how much buying in stores has become a lot more efficient. You have buying hours. How did that come to be a necessity? And other people do it as well. But for you guys, when did that become a necessity? Because I assume you didn't start with buying hours when you first opened. Maybe I'm wrong. And what is it like for you guys? Is it family that does the buying? Do you have certain people on staff? Because I know that can be a tenuous area for a card store.
Yeah, no, it's a great question. We never had an issue with buying before. We, got 40 million cards. I'm not a manufacturer, so we bought a lot of cards over the decades. But things just changed post-COVID with the amount of money that was going back and forth, and people looking to sell things. They were new to the hobby. They bought things. They got into breaks. Most of the stuff they didn't want, and so it became something that started taking up Ryan's time, my son, who's the main guy. And we've hired a couple guys that are basically professional buyers. We don't even double check them. So we have 3 people that buy. And the reason why we have buying hours is those people that buy do all the pricing of the cards as well. So you can't just intake and just build triple shoes all the time. Because if we had our buying hours, was it every day and all day long, we'd never be able to process cards. You walk in the store, we have a list. You put your name on a list when you walk in. And we literally call your name like a deli counter when it's your turn. And people can wait 90 minutes because you don't know if that person has 3 cards or 3,000 cards. And, we treat everybody the same. and it's staggering what they can buy in a day. But we need the buying hours. Like Wednesdays, we don't start buying till 2. Why?
Right.
11 to 2. I need a guy for 3 hours working on those triple shoes of slabs we bought the day before, and he's familiar with it because he just bought them. He puts a post-it note on every card he buys, and then he knows, he's like, okay, that one comped at 40, we paid 30, we want to be 45, whatever it happens to be. It's all fresh in his mind.
Right.
So him on pricing as soon as possible. So Mondays are no buying. Wednesdays, no buying until 2, and Sundays is family day. It's just retail.
Um, One of the things that other stores have mentioned is how the news cycle affects their store. Um, I saw on your webpage you're celebrating the Negro League statistics getting merged in with the Major League statistics by having some Josh Gibson cards and some other Negro League legends. Uh, how has that changed with the instant information and the buyer wanting to react that quickly?
Yeah, it's wild. It's everything's so instantaneous, and most of my customers know about things before I do. I don't have the time to go down these YouTube and IG rabbit holes. So what used to be decades ago, where we kind of had proprietary knowledge of things, as a retailer generally does in any other category, everybody knows everything about everything now, and you don't have a competitive advantage. And something happens in the world of sports, and if I'm not paying attention or no one's paying attention, you're just getting picked off on everything. But yeah, in this world that we live in, you need to be on top of things, because everybody's looking to pick you off at every single moment of the day, whether it's product, whether it's singles, whatever it happens to be. So you need to be as vigilant as possible. But yeah, the way news carries these days, it's hard to stay on top of everything, especially since we're so preoccupied all day at the shop here.
How has the inventory mix changed over time between wax and singles? I know you've always been singles heavy, um, and very famously so. But over time, has that ratio stayed the same, or has that shifted a little bit?
It's a good question, actually. I mean, literally, I don't know if I could show you, but I've got maybe 40 stacks of hockey cards piled up,
Right.
20, 23 upper deck. I mean, it's like everywhere. Singles is still always the priority. I'm always a big fan of buying what you like. Singles isn't our DNA. We do carry a tremendous amount of boxes now. I mean, probably the biggest change in the history of the company was my son Ryan coming on board.
Sure.
um, I had to choose between online and physical sales years ago, because it was hard for me to power it both to scale. We chose, singles, and we chose online because we had such a competitive advantage there. And then my son was like 18, 19 years old, and, wanted to drop out of college. And I'm like, let's go. If you want to do this, let's get serious, but let's bring the retail back to where it used to be. And that meant bringing in a lot more product. And you walk in our store now, the selection is pretty crazy. Whereas we weren't known for it before. Now we're known for it, having a lot of it and being very competitive on price. But still, I got to say that singles is still the priority here. It's just a big competitive advantage. And I think our customer base really gravitates more towards singles. I've never
Definitely.
been a fan of breaks. I'd rather people not rip and actually buy what the hell they want, because they end up getting, they're rarely satisfied by opening something, whether it's somebody else opening it or themselves. I want people to walk out of here 100% satisfaction. And if they're buying exactly what they want from our showcases, then we have a much higher percentage of satisfaction. So singles is still the priority.
Something unique to every shop is their local teams.
Mm-hmm.
In the Burbank area, I mean, you guys have teams on teams and winning on winning. I know I'm in Baltimore, and we're hoping, mightily this year. But who do you sell more of? I mean, who actually dominates the sales? Is it the Dodgers, the Lakers?
Yeah, it was definitely the Lakers for the longest time. Kobe cards are still just amazing. We just put a $6,500 auto in the showcase. But yeah, the Dodgers, it's funny, like Mookie Betts sells, but people just don't come in super excited for him. But Otani kind of changed everything.
Huh.
Um, and his cards have been the ultimate roller coaster. It's like he's hurt, he's hot, he's gambling. It's just the swings in his market. But it's a Laker town, and I think that that's by far we sell far more stuff related to the Lakers than we do the Dodgers, just because we've got LeBron and Kobe's legacy here.
Moving forward, what's the next chapter for you and for Ryan?
Next chapter is we just made an offer on another building. It's literally going to triple the size of our retail storefront. So it's fingers crossed. It's stupid expensive. It's stupid big. But it's something that I really want. If it's not that building, ever since we moved in here, we're always looking for what the next building is going to look like.
Yeah.
We got 42 showcases. We got about 4,000 feet, and it just shrunk really quick on us. So we want to get our inventory onto another platform, hoping to be able to work that out. And, in the size of the store and, having a son that's 28, 29 years old, that's one of the things that's never discussed is succession plans in the industry, because in the past, the owner gets older or dies. It's hard to sell a business, especially if that owner passes away. And the wife is kind of stuck with it. Now I've got another 40 years of road ahead of Burbank, and he's smarter than I am. So to me, he's kind of the straw that stirs the Southern California economy. And I know that, the shop's in good hands even if I'm not here. So bigger location, that I guarantee it's just a matter of when, not if. That's probably the biggest thing on our plate right now. And social media, looking to take that to the next level. We've gained over 65,000 followers in 4 years of being on IG. Yeah. Simply me rambling in the morning for 10 minutes or video of what's going in the show. I mean, really simplistic things. And I'm like, what if we had a full-time guy that's really good at this? So I think that's the next big investment we're going to make, is with somebody that's done a lot of stuff for us already. He's a genius. And I think that's going to put us over the top, because every follower is critical in a business, because that follower has tentacles where, that one person can become 100 people. So social media is everything in this day and age, and we plan on taking that to the next level.
It's a good reminder. If you're happy with this show, please like and subscribe. Right, there we go. Thank you. So obviously your son's going to take over moving forward, but where do you see the hobby going moving forward? From I guess a technology standpoint, number one, and then a business M&A portion, number two.
Yeah, sure. I'm bullish. I wouldn't have the kind of money and sweat equity into this industry unless I was really positive that things were going to move in the right direction. I'm seeing it. Our store traffic is incredible. Super pumped. A lot of new people still entering. Thank you, Fanatics. Fanatics, for everything that they're doing, and they're doing some great things. They're doing some things that they certainly need to tweak. But they're putting eyeballs on our industry in ways we've never seen before. The kind of content where Michael Rubin can come in my store. A little girl's looking at Devin Booker cards at $1 a piece. He whips out his cell phone, gets Devin Booker on FaceTime, and she's talking to Devin Booker, and she's literally losing her mind. Those things were never possible before. They're going to be able to create some life-altering moments for collectors. Tom Brady being involved in our hobby is absolutely mind-blowing. Yep. I mean, we've been in the dark ages, for decades. And all of a sudden now you have a company that's got almost limitless resources and very, very talented people that they've got from all kinds of different parts of, everywhere. And they're doing amazing things. They're putting on an event in New York that I can't wait to go to. That's like a sports con.
I'll be there. I'll buy you a drink.
I'm going to be thirsty, so that'll be perfect. But no, it's like Michael Rubin said at an event I was just at, that he doesn't even believe we're at the national anthem yet when it comes to the roadmap for the industry. And I think we might be in the second inning. I'm not quite as bullish as he is. And they talk about 3x, 5x, 10x. I'm happy right now with 1.5x. I think that would be amazing and more logical. But I see the future as I'm very bullish on it. Um, I think that if Topps was bought by an investment group, which a lot of them were sniffing around, we'd be in a lot worse spot. Fanatics was the right company to do it. But yeah, no, I mean, you walk in my store on an average Thursday and just, the environment here is crazy. And the market's going to do this. And it's been doing that for 40 years. But I always judge things by store traffic. And if store traffic is an indication, then we're in a really good place.
Well, that's awesome to hear. Talk to me about shows.
Shows, if you would
Your
have told,
history and where you are now. Let me take it like that.
we're talking card show?
Yeah, card shows.
Oh, yeah. If you would have told me 4 years ago I'd have my own card show, I'd tell you to check into a hospital. That's the stupidest
That's
thing.
what I was wondering.
One day it was like, I'm realizing everybody's going to Dallas for a card show. And I'm like, wait a second. We're in the best sports card area of the country. Why do people spend $800 to go to Dallas between hotels and airfare? And that money evaporates. And I had a friend that was doing smaller shows, and he was in the store, and I'm like, we should do something together up here and create a card show. And I was thinking like literally Elks Lodge. I had very humble aspirations for this. I'd never done a show before, and he laughed at me. And we got a nice facility, and it was bonkers how busy it was. And we had a line that wrapped the building, and It's just exponentially grown, the Burbank Card Show. And we're going back to Anaheim again, which is, to me, it's like Mecca. It's like that name for a national. I mean, Anaheim, to me, is the best location that the Nationals ever been in. And we're going back there again. And the crowds that we get, it's not rocket science. Southern California is the best market for cards, and we're the closest stop to the Pacific Rim. So, and the National might never come back here. So to build something on this coast and do it twice a year really is great for the hobby, the community, and people don't have to fly to Cleveland or fly to Atlantic City and watch all that money evaporate and be in a city that, frankly, you probably don't want to be in.
As somebody who lives on the East Coast, I can tell you, we are we're very spoiled over here, and what you're doing out there is so refreshing because the legendary National, the highest attendance of all time, that's all Anaheim. If people are too young to know that, and whether or not that's been broken, who cares? The point was, the one time it went there, it didn't just succeed; it dominated.
Actually,
So, yeah,
4 Nationals in Anaheim. The first one was there.
well, sure.
He won 96 and 2006. So it's been 18 years. And again, we call it a cardcation. Whenever I talk about it, I hashtag cardcation because most of these card shows are solo pursuits. Whoever the collector is, they go. The family doesn't go with them. So, people going to the National this year aren't bringing their families for the most part. But when you do it in Anaheim, you can tack on 2 or 3 days on either end of it. Now you've got your summer vacation and your card show taken care of in one fell swoop, because literally the mouse is across the street, which is huge. And plus we got the beaches in Southern California. So I think we have a huge competitive advantage, and I've got a great team that works with me. Honestly, I don't do a whole lot when it comes to the show. I'm more of the brand. But I've got a tremendous team that works behind the scenes, and who knows where it goes from here. We've done Burbank, we've done Ontario, California, and we've done Anaheim. And does it go to LA? Does it go to San Diego? I don't know where it goes from here, but it's a lot of fun, and people really seem to enjoy it.
Well, I love using the vacation as the excuse, because I'm celebrating my 20th anniversary, and if I tell my wife we're going to Cleveland, I won't see 21. So that's a great point, and I'm going to use that strategically without giving you credit, if that's okay.
That's okay. That's okay.
All right. Well, Rob, I promise to land on time. We get out in under 30 minutes every single time on Hobby News Daily because people are short attention spans. And if you're still listening by now, it's because of him, not because of me. Tell everybody where they can find you and where they can get a hold of your stuff.
We've got burbankcards.com, has all of our information. Burbank Sportscards on eBay. We've sold over 6 million cards on there. So maybe you've already bought from us. If not, you can check that out. Our IG is at Burbank Cards. It's informative. We do things a little differently over there. And if you're in Burbank, we're at 1610 Burbank Boulevard, beautiful downtown Burbank. So hopefully you can reach on any of those platforms.
Guys, the man, the card father, Rob, thank you so much. I
That was
appreciate
a lot of fun, Danny. Let's do it again.
Absolutely. Hang out 30 seconds in the green room so I can pay you. To everybody else, we will see you later on the next episode of Hobby News Daily. Take care.